Hello, everyone. Welcome to Advanced Manifestation for Seasoned Manifestors with me, Cory Michelle. This week's topic is a hot one. It is a topic that I have worked on myself deeply to actualize into my life, and that is receiving large sums of money, large lump sums of money, and keeping it. So much of the time, people want large sums of money, but don't actually believe it in their world that they could actually have it, or don't know how you would actualize that, or how it would show up, or maybe it's only going to show up like, if you win the lottery or something like that. But today we're going to look at the energetics of receiving large lump sums of money. And I'm going to give you a reprogramming mantra that will assist you in having this. So welcome, say hi below. You're here live with me. And if you are watching the replay, hashtag replay. So we know you're here, and we're just gonna dive right in. Also, because we're on StreamYard, if you click on the thing above in the description that says StreamYard/Facebook, and click on that and give Facebook and StreamYard access, it'll just be able to connect your name to when you comment, and I can see live who actually is commenting. So if you would like to do that, you totally can. So welcome, welcome, hello, hello. Otherwise, it just says Facebook user on my end, and I can't say who you are, but that's okay. I can see your comments anyway. All right, so let's just dive in. Let's dive in. First of all, I want to ask you, would you love to receive large lump sums of money and be able to keep it? Right? Tell me in the comments, is this you? Would you like to have that? I know it was me because, for so many years, I didn't have a lot of money, and I had, negative money going into debt and stuff like that. So large sums of money was always like, yeah, that would be really great. But how? How is that money going to come in? It seemed one of two ways. One was the lottery, which I didn't really play that much. And two was somebody had to die, like getting an inheritance or something like that. And you don't want people in your life to die. So I didn't want to wish for that. So it was the lottery, which I really didn't feel like that was going to be something for me anyway. So I didn't really play. I didn't really put any energy into it. So it was like my options were none. And so then how in the world is it going to show up? But when I was asking that question, I wasn't asking it as a real question of like, ooh, I wonder how large lump sums of money could show up, which right now I'm asking that, for real. And it just makes me excited. I was asking from, it's not possible to receive it world that happen, which has a totally different energy that you're putting out to the universe based on where you're coming from, what your lenses are, what your perspectives are on how that could potentially show up. So let's look at the energetics of it. That's the first energetics of it. So is it even possible for you in your world to receive the large lump sums of money that you get to keep? Is that even possible? Let me know in the comments, right? Because if we look at it, we look at going, well, it happens for people, so it's got to be possible, right? But is your energy, this is what you want to check in with yourself, is your energy saying, yeah, this is possible for me? Or is your energy saying, actually, I don't think it's possible, but it would be nice, right? All right, let me know in the comments. So see what we're working with here. Okay, we got, of course, absolutely, totally possible. All right, now let me ask you this. Or how many ways can you count for yourself right now that could come in? Is it like one way or two ways like me? What are all the ways? How many can you count? All the ways that could actually come in for you right now. Okay, and then let me know in the chat. Because, I mean, there's so many ways that lump sums of money could come in. And one of the ways that I've had actually 2 times lump sums of money come in that were beyond any amount of money that I had ever received before were through car accidents. Years ago in my 20s, I had one was a car accident. I received a lump sum of money for that. And one of them was a workers' comp injury. I hurt my back on the job, and I ended up, I think it was like 3 or 4 years later, maybe 3 years later, I can't remember actually, I received a very large chunk of money. But what I had to go through to get that money was pain, a lot of time, a lot of extra expenditures because both times I was actually injured. So there was this I have to be injured, I have to give something, I have to suffer to receive it. But then I was really happy to receive it because I was like, see, I deserve this money now because I have suffered. So for some reason, I had suffering attached to, receiving large sums of money. Now, I don't want to do that anymore, and I haven't done that for a long time. So what if you can receive large lump sums of money and keep it and not have to suffer, not have to work hard, not even have to figure out where it's coming from? Okay? What if it actually can just start coming to you? Yeah, let me count the ways here. Because I will be getting a big check soon enough because of a car accident. Yeah, it has been rough. Yeah, I was in pain for a lot of years. I still have problems from that first big car accident that I did receive a lot of money from. Definitely don't want to do that again though. Okay, so yes, I'll have that. Fantastic. I want to receive without suffering. Yes, I would love that. The suffering part has sucked. Yeah. So if in our energetics or in our subconscious, we have, I have to work hard to receive money, especially, large lump sums of money that you get to keep, to work hard. You have to go through pain. You have to struggle. You have to, have a reason to receive it. Even divorces, right? Sometimes people receive large lump sums of money after a divorce, but they go through a lot of pain and suffering and like all the grieving that you have to go through to get to the other side of a divorce or even be married to somebody that maybe you didn't want to be married to for years to be able to get to the other side of that and then receive it, right? So what is currently in there for you? Just look at your past, and this is one way you can find it, is just look at your past. What has it been like so far to receive large sums of money, lump sums of money? Now, if you have it where it's like, yeah, I just, I received this here and I received this here, and this just sort of magically shows up, awesome. You might not have pain, suffering, or struggle connected to receiving. Awesome. So no matter what, you just want to notice if that's connected or not. Okay. So that's the first thing. The first thing with energetic is if you say, yes, I'll have lots of large lump sums of money that I get to keep. And you're like, yeah, well, take, ooh, let me count the ways and let me find out, let's explore. And your energy is open and you get like excited or a lightness, then you're set up for that. But if you say it and you go, ooh, I don't know, is it really even possible? There's something in there. Then we want to sort of excavate some of the energetics that's going on. One of them is this, is you have to suffer, struggle, or be in pain to receive big, large sums of money that you get to keep. Also, do you have any beliefs in there that, if you got a large lump sum of money, then what? Right? So let's say you got 50 grand tomorrow, then what? What would you have to do with it? What comes up for you? 50 grand in your bank account tomorrow. Then what? What is the energy of that? Go ahead and share with me in the comments so we see what we're working with here. Do you have to spend it all on bills? Will it be a relief? Right? Are you going, oh no, now I have to give it to people. I don't want people to know. Right? Okay, cool. And invest it to create more. How can I multiply it? You want to look to see if there's anything contractive in there, anything that has you go, ooh, I need to hide. Ooh, I can't. And not that you actually want to share that you just received $50,000 out of nowhere, with everybody. You might not want to, but having it be a choice versus, ooh, I have to hide, right? Because if you have to hide, there's probably some subconscious stuff in there. Okay. I would get a new kitchen and fund a trading account. Yeah, awesome. I will take it as I will take it as a relief without any suffering. Yes, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Fantastic. Yep. And how much will I get to keep? We're saying, okay, this is great. Excited to pay down debt and invest the balance. Fantastic. So how much do I get to keep? Well, what if you get to keep it all? right? Like, what if you get to keep it all? What if all of this money coming to you is to keep for you? Now, of course, we have other things that we can choose that will expand. A lot of you guys are talking about investing. Awesome. We want to grow this money. How can we grow this money? You can choose whatever. Asking yourself, though, how much do I get to keep? Who are you asking? You get to say. You get to say what you're doing with this $50,000. Okay. So wherever your subconscious is taking you right now is some of your subconscious programming, right? Okay, cool. Now let's see here. I've got notes I'm looking at here. So that you get to keep, use, give, circulate, invest, and spend joyously. What if that was your programming? What if that was your normal? I get to keep it, use it, give it, circulate it, invest it, and spend joyfully. Yeah, why not? Like, why not would we give ourselves the freedom to have that much freedom with large lump sums of money that come to you with ease and that you do get to keep? And I like that you get to keep on there because so much of the time we have already, and this is like a double-edged sword, by the way. You already have ideas of what you do, right? We want to pay off the debt, right? Like the debt is the most important thing. Well, what's interesting about debt and past expenditures is there's so much wrongness about past expenditures of like, oh, you should be debt free. However, if you really look at the scope of what you've got going on, it may or may not be the number one thing to pay off, right? So sometimes if we have an investment that's making, say, let's just say 30% a year, and you have a debt that's, costing you 5% a year, then wouldn't it be to greater advantage to invest and take slower time paying off the expenditure, right? Versus, because then you're going to make more versus paying it off, and you're not going to make anything. You're going to save some interest there that you would pay, but you would be making more interest over here. So it's like when we look at old school finances, like people talking about, make sure you pay off your debt and being debt free, that's not actually how we can grow money these days. That's getting you to a place where you have no debt, but how can you leverage all of the resources that you have to grow it? And this is where, like, my mom, for example, is totally old school. She's like, no debt, we get rid of all the debt and all that, and no house payment and all these things. And we look at, well, if we have an investment that's creating more than the debt, then you're actually making a profit on the debt, because if you look at it that way. So when we start to rearrange all of these puzzle pieces and say, is there a better way for this to come together that will create more life, more of what I want in life, more freedom for myself, especially financial freedom, then we can get ourselves into different positions that will create more of what you're looking for versus all the things we're programmed to believe about money, to believe about all of this stuff, and also the wrongness that many people are layered with because of conditioning. That debt is wrong, past expenditures are wrong, student loans are wrong, mortgages are wrong, all those things are wrong and bad, and you want to make them go away. Not necessarily the case when you're looking at the bigger picture of all of your puzzle pieces with correlation to your targets. Okay. Now, what does this have to do with lump sums? Well, if you are saying, I'm going to make this up. If you're saying, hey, I'd like to be financially free. I'd like to get into some investments that are covering my monthly bills, my annual bills, or all of my living expenses, and I'm still gaining expansion, but I also have, say, a mortgage, some on my mortgage, and I also have a little bit of credit card debt, right? We go, okay, so if we look at it in the bigger picture, we go, where's your energy? If you're like, hey, it's wrong because I spent all this money on the credit cards and I definitely am programmed and conditioned to make my mortgage go away. If that's actually not congruent with what you really want, which is to be this financially free, to have these investments growing and everything else you want to be doing, okay, then the large sum of money may not come in because it's going to go to the place that's not congruent with what you're saying you want to have. Okay, so these are things you want to start looking at. Talk to a financial planner. I am not a financial planner. I am just posing some questions to you here, right? But talk to somebody and say, well, how do I actually get to my targets? Set your mind up, open those spaces for yourself. So you start looking at, hey, what is it that I really want? If I got an extra $50,000 lump sum right now, what would I actually do with it that is congruent, that is harmonious, that sets me on the path of my targets, of my goals, of my big dreams? Okay. All right. Because it might not be what you think it is. Okay. It might not be what you think it is. Now, it could be, but it might not be. Okay. All right. So that's the next part of the energetics is where do you think your money's going, and is it actually congruent for what your targets are, what you want to create for your life, and having financial freedom with your finances. Okay. Now, next one is there anybody that's going to want a piece of that money that you feel obligated to give to? Okay. Is there anybody that you feel obligated to give to, or somebody would want a piece of that money? Now, if you have, maybe you took a loan, especially during COVID time, there's some people who did extraordinarily well, and then other people who didn't financially, and they needed a little bit of help. If you have somebody that, maybe loaned you money or something like that, paying them back might make you, go, okay, I want to clean that up, make sure that people in my life that I love are taken care of. I've honored my agreements. Awesome. Right? Awesome. But I'm talking about the people who are like, oh, you have money, so I think I want some. Like, you owe me, but it's not really like real. It's more in their mind. Or maybe you feel like you owe somebody just because they're a family member or something like that, right? I hear a lot of that sort of stuff because so many of the people that come into my world are big hearts, big hearts. We want to give, right? But sometimes we have these backwards sort of tracks to giving and overgiving and giving everything we have away, right? That leaves us with not a lot. So just look for yourself right now. Is there anyone you would feel obligated to give to? Or you might have some guilt in there of like, I really should give to them, because you're going to feel guilty if you don't for some reason, right? No, I don't owe anyone anything, and I won't ever allow anybody to manipulate me like that. Fantastic. Yep, got my husband. Yeah, oftentimes it'll happen with family members, husbands or wives, depending on your dynamics and what you've created between the two of you, and sometimes siblings and things like that. And sometimes it's kids. Sometimes it's kids for people. Like when I first met Ben, we were talking about winning the lottery, and we were just talking about receiving a lot of money. And he said, well, if I won the lottery, then I would, house and my kids had somewhere nice to live. That's interesting. Do you think your ex would want a house from you? Right? Like we started talking about it. He started to realize, wow, that is my projection of what I think that she should want and have. So he sort of took that back up over time and went, you know what? I'm gonna set up for my kids in a different way than projecting that this is what should happen over there. Now, he hasn't hit the lottery, the $10 billion lottery or anything like that yet, but those are some of the things that can stop big, large sums of money coming to you, is these incongruent things that you would do with it because of programming that aren't a match to what you're actually saying you would like to have. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Although I would not feel obligated, I might choose to give to my two children a bit of dough, though I do not feel obligated to do this. Yeah. So a lot of times, what I've seen people do, and for myself as well, is once I've received the money, I sit with it, and then I look to see, okay, what would I like to do with it from here? What would be congruent to my current targets, my current creations, right? And sometimes it's maybe give some away. Sometimes it's, invest it. Sometimes it's pay some stuff off. Okay. Sometimes it's circulate it or buy some things that would have my life feel expansive in the moment, whatever that is for you. And sometimes it takes actually receiving it first, but looking to see, hey, is there anything contractive in here that is incongruent with what I'm saying I'd like to have in my life right now? Okay. So hello, everybody joining. All right. So let me see my notes here. Now, money is funny, right? Most people think that money is about the money, right? And then they have a hard time bringing in money because it's all about the money. But for people who are more energetic, right? People who have been probably working with manifesting and spiritual concepts and consciousness and stuff like that, might know that money is actually for experiences. Money is for your body. Okay. The only reason we need money is because we have bodies. Okay. This lovely, gorgeous, amazing, powerful, potent, magical vehicle that we have to experience this reality. That's the only reason we need money. Okay. And so, what does our body do? Our body is experiencing this reality. Okay. So, money is really for experiences. And when we can shift receiving large sums of money, that is sort of this weird, it's tangible, but not tangible at the same time sometimes for us. Like, I know for me, it was always, money was always weird because it's always coming and it's always going and it's buying things, but really, it's about the experience you'd like to have, right? So if you're bringing in a large sum of money or a large sum of money shows up, okay, then what is the experience of that for you? What would that experience be like? Right? You receive it, it's in your bank account or it's in cash. Like I sold a car recently and I had $18,000 cash. We had to count because the guy brought cash. It was like, holy cow, this is so much fun to receive $18,000 from somebody. And he brought it in he was so cute. He was like, can I bring cash? I was like, yeah, you can totally bring cash. So he had a paper bag. It had $18,000 in it. So me and Ben and a friend of mine were sitting there counting it. And we're like, okay, it's all here. It was so cool. And what's really funny is Ben used to work at a bottle shop. So he used to do a lot of counting of money. And my friend used to work at a bank and she used to do a lot of counting of money. And they both counted the money really fast. And I was like, man, it was so much fun to count though. So, so what is that experience going to be like? Right? Can you tune into that experience of receiving right now? $50,000. You wake up tomorrow morning, it's today, you're receiving $50,000. What is it like? Tuning into the energetics or a potential way that it might be. Okay. And one of the reasons why I like to do this is because it starts to energetically connect you to the experience of having that right now. So if you can experience that right now, what that would be like, pops into your bank account, you're opening your online or you're on your phone, or you're like, well, it's there, I'm seeing the 50 grand, okay, or you're receiving cash, right? Whatever that is, what is it like to see it? Because oftentimes having a big chunk come in that's different than what we would normally receive has a different experience energetically. Okay, so I'm excited thinking about it. Share in the comments for me, what will that be like receiving that? Now, if 50,000 isn't big enough for you, you're like, I'm going for 200,000. I'm going for, what would it take for a bigger, even bigger lump sum of money to show up? Or maybe for you, even 50,000. I know some people, especially even with me, and especially in my 20s when I first started learning about manifesting, I was like, what would it take for $10,000 to show up? That was a big number for me. So we all have different perspectives. What is that number for you? That would be like, yeah, I'm just throwing 50 out there to play with. But what would that be like, right? To receive that and share that with me in the comments. Okay. So as we open up the energy to experience that right now, then we start gaining resonance with it. We start saying, oh, wow, that would be so fun. Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. What would that be like? I don't know. What would I do with it? What would I do first? Right? Then we start building connections with that timeline, that experience. Okay. We start saying, ooh, I'll have that. Ooh, that would be fun. Yeah. Thrilling, exciting. I go for 250,000 in the short run. We can keep going up from there. Yeah. And then would you be happy with 50,000? Would you be happy with 100,000? Would you be happy with 50 or 5,000? Would you be happy with an extra grand? Right? And when we can have all of that included, not just the big numbers, the large sums of money, any any large sum of money, any chunk of money show up, right? And be happy with all of it because it all adds up, right? Then the amount actually stops mattering so much because we really get the receiving going. So it could be $5,000, it could be $50,000, it could be $250,000, it could be $1 million that shows up, whatever that is. But notice if you have any judgment on any of those numbers. Oh, $5,000 wouldn't be big enough. Okay. Well, what if $5,000 is waiting to come for you when you stop judging it? Right? It's like, would you be willing to receive all of it? Okay. And we're talking about more than, a dollar on the ground, right? It used to be 5 cents or 10 cents we find on the ground. We're talking about more than that. Okay. So are you willing to not judge how much is coming in or how much is possible and be excited and happy and grateful for no matter how much shows up? Okay. Susan, any amount is welcome. Any amount is welcome for me too. And what would it take for 11 million to build my project? Hey, what if it came in $5,000 at $5,000 and $5,000 and $5,000 until you hit 1 million or 11 million, right? Surreal. A paper bag with 50K in it. I would laugh like a maniac. Yeah, right? So expanding your world to how it could show up and what would that experience be like? Okay. Yeah, I just realized that my association with wealth is tainted by my younger life where lots of cash with much unconscious and self-abuse. Yeah. So what if it's joyful to receive now? Oh, I'm willing to receive it all with no judgment. Okay. So the no judgment part, especially around the amounts of what equals large to you. Okay. Because we go, oh, well, 5,000 is not large, but 50,000, 250,000, all these millions is large, right? What if any amount can come in and you're open to receiving all of it? Okay. So when we can come off of any judgment to receiving any amount of money, too big, too small, enough, not enough, all of that judgment, then we're opening pathways for it to come in all the ways. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Let me see my notes here. All right. I think that's actually it that I wanted to talk about today in terms of the energetics of receiving it. We're looking at all of these different ways that we could open to being grateful and happy. Now, I want to give you guys two other things. Number one thing I want to tell you about, and then I want to share with you guys a subconscious activating statement that I'm going to give you today that will activate this whole energetics of this. Okay? It might also bring some stuff up that you need to look at that might be in the way of this. Okay, but first I want to tell you this. So, do you know that I run a monthly membership that is called the 5D Vibe Tribe? And in the 5D Vibe Tribe, every single week we will reprogram your subconscious to be congruent with being wealthy. Okay. Now, being wealthy is a whole bunch of different elements of our reality. And it's not just money, it's wealth of possibilities, wealth of energy, wealth of money, wealth of finances, growing your finances, investing and having it grow even bigger, right? It's receiving lump sums of cash and being able to keep it or do whatever you would like with it. So next week, I have scheduled, I'm so excited for this one, our reprogramming session on receiving large lump sums of money and keeping it. So we're actually going to do the work of reprogramming your subconscious identity to be congruent with you receiving large sums of money. So I wanted to share this with you because if you're like, you know what, I'm freaking having this, I would love to see you in that session next week. And what you would need to do is join the 5D Vibe Tribe. So I'm going to pop the link in here. It's magicallivingbydesign.com/vibe tribe. And there we go. And I have a code for you if you would like to join us, and that's the monthly membership. The code is to get $50 off monthly So it only equals $99 a month. It's Wealthy 2022 with a capital W. So Wealthy 2022, the capital W. So you can join us, and then you would get all the weekly sessions. So you get 4 weekly sessions a month. We do 3 of these reprogramming sessions, and then we do 1 Q&A where you can ask anything a month. So it's a really great deal. They're all live, and then you get all the recordings of them. So what's really great is with this reprogramming, what we're doing is we're reprogramming your mind, your subconscious to have a new set point. We're also reprogramming your energetic field. So you're stepping in to this version of you who's being wealthy on all the different levels. And one of the keys to this is the consistency. So every single week we're doing this. So basically in an hour and 15 minutes a week, then you are doing the subconscious work for yourself. And what starts to show up is you naturally and easily start being different, responding to life different. That allows this whole new reality to start showing up, which is amazing. We've had people create amazing results in really going, oh, wow, I was really struggling with this. And now it's just showing up and I'm able to be myself and I'm receiving more money and I'm increasing my prices. And all of this stuff is starting to show up. So people have created passive income streams so they don't have to work anymore. Like, it's amazing. So who are you as the wealthy version of you? And would you like some support reprogramming your subconscious? Because that's the biggest thing in your way. If you're not being the wealthy version of you yet, and it feels in your future, it feels like it's far away, it feels like it's not quite there because you're not seeing it in your reality, join us in the Vibe Tribe. This is the one focus that we're doing this whole entire year. And that reprogramming is, it works. It works fast, it's easy, and it's so much fun. So you can join us there. Okay. Yes, if you're already in the Vibe Tribe, of course you get it already. If you're not, you'll need to join us. Okay. So, all right, let's get on to the activating statement for this. Okay. Now, all right. Oh, and the other thing about the next week is it's basically every week we're doing a quantum jump. Right. So we're going from your current reality to the reality that you're aware of, that you're bringing in to be that version of you now that actualizes that energetic field. That's what we're doing every week in the Vibe Tribe. Okay. So let me type this in here. We're going to go through it. Okay. I just typed it in there so you can copy and paste it. But how the mantra goes is, I am so happy and grateful that large sums of money come to me easily and quickly from in increasing amounts, right? From multiple sources on a continuous basis in the best interest of all, that I get to keep, use, give, circulate, invest, and spend joyously. Oh yeah. I'm so happy and grateful that large sums of money to easily in quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis in the best interest of all, that I get to keep, use, give, circulate, invest, and spend joyously. Now, the mechanics of this, I'm so happy and grateful. Okay. Gratitude is a wealth energy. I'm so happy and grateful, right? If you can be grateful about everything in your life, you're likely in the world of abundance, right? In the world of wealth. That large sums of money come to me. So it's coming to you. So you're reversing. Everybody teaches out there. Well, not everybody. The conditioning of this reality teaches that you have to go get it. You have to hustle. You have to work hard. You have to, suffer like some of us, right? With the car accidents and stuff, right? To get the money. But what if it's going to come to you? So reprogramming the flow for it to find you. Okay. Now you got to be paying attention and say yes and take those inspired actions. Follow your awareness that matches, right? So it can actualize, but it's coming to you easily and quickly, meaning you don't have to suffer and you also don't have to work hard. But sometimes there is some work, especially if you're creating a business, there might be a little bit of hustle, or there might be some work that's happening, connecting those dots, setting up your platform. But it's not like that all the time. It doesn't mean you have to hustle 24/7. You're not like Gary Vee, who I absolutely love him, but holy cow, he's like working 24/7. He's the Energizer Bunny. I'm like, I don't want that lifestyle. I don't want to be having meetings on a Friday night at 10 o'clock. Like, I want to be in bed sleeping. Okay. So, in increasing quantities. So it's always expanding. Okay. And then from multiple sources, you want money from multiple sources. Everybody says this. Anybody talking about wealth, multiple sources. Okay. Maybe you have a business, but you have multiple products. Maybe you have investments. Maybe you have some passive income streams. Okay. Multiple sources on a continuous basis. So it never stops. It's always flowing to you. Okay. In the best interest of all. So many of us have been programmed with this thing that money is bad and money is evil. And that if I'm receiving, then it's going to take away from somebody else. So this is just programming in. It is actually all coming to me with the best interest of all. It's for me. It's meant for me. Okay. It's not going to impact anybody else negatively because I'm getting to receive. And that I get to keep, use, give, circulate, invest, and spend joyously. Right. And so I put all of those in there. And you can keep any of those in there that you would like, or you can, edit to what you want to focus on. Okay. So here's what I would recommend with this one is say this one 10 times a day for the next 7 days and let us know how it goes. Now, if you want to keep going and really deeply own this energy, live this energy, keep going for as long as you do and watch, your whole system will start to shift. Okay. Um, Okay, cool. I've done so many of these things in the past, and I love this one. And I was watching a video from, I think his name is Brian Johnson on YouTube, and he was using it specifically for this one, and I went, oh my gosh, this is so brilliant. It's putting so many of the ones I've done into one. I've got to share this and share it with you guys because it made so much sense for today. Yes, the money is meant for you. Okay, it is in the chat. So I will also put it in here. So I'll post it in the group. So just in case you're not seeing it, I'll add in the link. So once we're done here, I'll put the mantra, activating statement, as well as the link and the code to the Vibe Tribe if you want to join us and do the deep dive, quantum jump into the reality where you are the version of you that receives large sums of money that are coming to you quickly and easily in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis in the best interest of all, that you get to keep, use, give, circulate, invest, and spend joyously to your heart's desires. All right, you guys. So I would love to know what you've received from today. And if I've got goosebumps, and share with me. Thank you. You're so welcome. Share with me your biggest aha for today, your takeaway. And if you'd like to join us in the Vibe Tribe, come and join us. We're having so much fun. And this is also where in the Vibe Tribe, we take a deep dive every week. We talk about the energetics of things. We shift your mind so that you're more open, you have more freedom to create wealth, more freedom to be you, more freedom to charge the prices. Yesterday, we did increasing your prices, having congruent fees, not having to charge less, right? So you get access to this weekly conversation about wealth every single week. If you'd like to join us. Okay. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me live and watching the replay. We will see you next week live, or maybe I'll see you in the Vibe Tribe. All right. Bye, you guys.